Dino has made a career engaging with brands he believes in, holding rock star positions, including the CMO of Mazda and leadership positions at Harley-Davidson and General Motors. And now the NFL, his dream job since he was a kid. One fun fact, his greatest passions other than his family, sports, and music are data and comic books.
I need a better opening after listening to John, for crying out loud.
Dino, you have the best opening. Let everybody who's watching this knows exactly what's about to happen. This is going to be 10 minutes of pure explosive fandom. This is actual fandom that might have customers instead of what everybody else is trying to go to. So I'm excited you're here. I've got all sorts of feelings and conversations that I want to have with you, but how are you, my friend?
I'm great. I was looking at what's one thing that doesn't look like the other. It's me in this group. Yeah, because we have, I won't say fans, we have fanatics. They're just raving fanatics that love everything about this team.
Yeah, I think to that point, flip it on me. Knowing your background, Andrew just mentioned it. This is the first time, and to your point, I do think you're different. Roblox, maybe a little bit, but not to this level. You are starting from fan, then customer, in a very, like nobody on this call will ever achieve the fandom level that you sit at the helm of from a marketing standpoint. But that has its ramifications, especially when the organization has gone through what this organization has gone through over the last, many years. What are the downsides of extreme fandom when there's every year everybody's disappointed except for one team? Obviously, last year was a great year, especially by Browns standards over the last 30 years. Give us a little insight into that.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I know a lot of brands are criticized. Ours is always out in the open. And by the way, you might read about wins or losses when it comes to others. You definitely hear about wins or losses when you're a team, and whether you make mistakes or what is said or done. There is not a bigger stage you could sell me on than the NFL. And the fact that we are on that stage, and we have to address our fans after every single game. Yes, we sit in front of media, but who do you think we're really talking to? It's our fans explaining how the game went, why it went a certain way, what we're going to do differently. Listening to the previous individuals, they talk about emotion and rationalization. There's zero rationalization when it comes to sport. It's all passion. All love.
I am literally bizarro reverse Gary. In real life, high energy, but incredibly practical. Just like wildly when you get to know me, that's why I've built good businesses. Jets, Gary? I love people. I'm like, I love people. 8 years ago, that's like 2 minutes ago. I'm 37 years old, 8 years ago. I'm walking after a Jets game. A 12-year-old child wearing a Tom Brady jersey is walking by me. And I hip checked the kid into a fence. This is abuse. This is assault. His dad turns to me and wants to engage, and I look at him, Dino, and say, "What the fuck are you gonna do about it, Dick?" That is not a normal person.
That's an obscene amount of commitment, which a lot of fans have, and we've been around for 75 years, Gary. We've had some great runs and we've had some struggles, and the name of this team is a Cleveland Browns, right? Cleveland. And that's, we are part of the community. We talk about community, which a lot of people think of social. We are a pillar in this community, and people want to be a part of it. And this is the one thing you can really be a part of. You can wear the jersey. You're going to cheer like you just talked about with all of your heart for something. And that passion and that love is what so many brands try to proclaim. And it's really hard. There's a select few. There's Apple that people just love. I was at Harley-Davidson, and I was telling you, they're fanatics. They love that brand. And when you're a sports team, especially on the biggest stage, almost in the world with the NFL, I mean, it's a distinct honor, but I'll tell you, it comes with a lot. And so what do you do? What do we do? You can take away the name Cleveland Browns. It just heightens or elevates what we have to do as a team. And I'll say even a brand, because it's simple, Gary, and I'm a simple guy. You got to listen. You got to learn. and then you got to leverage. And who are you listening
I'm sorry
to?
to interrupt, but I have a really interesting question. Unlike a lot of businesses, when you're talking business with brand sponsorships,
Yep.
people buying suites, you know, what you just said is exactly right, but is dramatically more controllable in other businesses. You are on the business side, and you've got these business conversations, and the person on the other side is pissed because you went 4-12, or you went 7-9, or talk to me about the variable of, like, with Harley Davidson, like, if they didn't love the latest release or something, you can go and really talk to the company and be like, hey, can we talk about the handlebars or this and that? With the football team, you can't walk to the GM as the CMO and say, I need you to trade out the safety, or why didn't you sign Carl Lawson this week? You can't do that shit.
No, but let's talk about sponsors, because I think that's a really good one.
Please.
You can't, you're right. I can't control as much as I would love to what's on the football field. And they're very glad that I'm not controlling what's on the football field because they do a better job. But I can control how close I get us to our fans. I can control the amount of engagement, whether we perform or we don't perform on the football field. I can control what I can give as a sponsor in connecting with the Browns. Because last year was amazing, but it's a moment in time. We're 75 years of rich history that people love. And whether we're performing or not, as long as we're out there playing and trying, we're gonna sustain that love. Now, I understand when the field doesn't perform, it's like when a product fails you. Are you going to immediately walk away, or how is it that you're responding to your fan base? What are you doing or showcasing, encouraging that this is a moment in time that we're learning, that we're improving? It's candidly, if you have a poor product, it's a poor product. You can't run away from it. If you do, it's a lie and it's not authentic and people are going to call it out. I think it's what you do in those moments, and candidly, what you share and you say with honesty and earnesty to those individuals. You're right. We had a rough drought for a period of time, but man,
Dino, that's an understatement.
Well, listen, it was a rough drought for a period of time. I think that's
one of the great droughts of all time, Dino.
It is. It is. But you know what? Our fans didn't walk away.
No.
Our fans stayed behind us. They came to the stadium. They wanted more. And the thing that at least, our ownership has been able to showcase and prove is we've been putting those puzzle pieces together. And I think it, Gary, like any brand, nothing turns over, overnight. Nothing and doesn't. But if you make good decisions, you leverage those, you showcase those, you talk about those, you build, dare I say, content in and around them, you can have people embrace and still believe in who you are.
And you know this. It also then crosses over, even in adversity, you can cross into this different place. I mean, I still believe that the Red Sox and Cub fan base was the most interesting because of the nature of the drought. I have always adored Browns and Lions fans because of, and as a Jets fan, with that adversity, right? Like, to me, that is, you actually compound authentic fandom in times of adversity.
Without a doubt. And I'll tell you this, if anything I can leave you with is we produce our own shows and content. Mm-hmm. And I'll tell you what, the X's and O's stuff works great. But you know what? One piece of content has stood above all others. It's a property we call Building the Browns. And it's the human side of this team and this teammate that we do every single year. And when you learn who these men and these people are, you can't help but even get closer to the team itself. You feel like you begin to know who they are.
And you know this. One of the great misrepresented humans in our modern American society is the athlete. 98% of these men are the kind of men that you want your daughter to marry. They're the best. The headlines and the extreme mainstream media coverage over the last 20, 30, 40 years has people incredibly confused on the quality of the man and women in WNBA and soccer. Like, it really breaks my heart, actually. It's something I'm very sad about. I think people go very cliche on football players and others. And meanwhile, the discipline, the kindness, the community service, the humanity, it's absurd, right?
It's absolutely, you're right. I'm telling you, having dealt with this organization and the players, you want to talk about the most giving individuals
100%.
who really to the community as well as to their teammates, let alone what they put on the football field, is extraordinary and truly are extraordinary individuals. You're absolutely correct. And our goal, to get more audiences to love the Cleveland Browns, to get passive fans to become active fans and active fans to become evangelists, is getting to know this team better and getting them closer to their team, because truly, Gary, it's their team.
I love it, Dino. Thank you so much. Good luck this season.
Thanks, my man. Good to talk to you.